Good evening. My name is Jerome Deering Bay, Executive Director of Right to Wrong in Illegal Sentencing in the United States. This is episode 2, and we are addressing and clarifying some of the comments that we made in episode 1. Those comments dealt with supervised release, parole, and nonviolent offenses here in America. Now, our sole purpose is to bring some insight into how the practice of supervised release, parole, and reentry has been allocated toward individuals coming out of state and federal prison. It's my intent in the future to bring on an individual that can speak to the state side of it. I'm dealing with specifically the federal side of it. And as I was talking about in episode 1 was the disparity in that practice. And I'm going to use this as an example. I think this is a good example for the simple reason anybody who wants to tune in to that issue can do so just based upon this particular name. George Santos, a representative out of New York who was convicted of fraud and went to prison for 7 years. And because he was a staunch Trump supporter, after 3 months of federal prison, Trump let him out of prison, commuted his sentence, and allowed him to come back to society with only serving 3 months in federal prison. That's a nonviolent offense, the crime that he was convicted of. And we talked about that in episode 1, about nonviolent offenders not getting the benefit that our government, state and federal, should be providing to individuals who are doing nonviolent offenses. Now, in George Santos' case, he wasn't labeled as a criminal. But in ordinary citizens' cases, they're labeled as being criminals. And that follows them for the rest of their life, which makes it difficult for them to get jobs, difficult for them to get housing, and difficult for them to receive the benefits that is attributed to most citizens of the United States. As I alluded to in episode 1, I understand that, people in America are distracted by the events that are taking place here in America and abroad. And so people don't have time to focus on issues that are relevant to citizens here in the United States. My purpose and intent is to try to get our Congress to have a discussion about remedying some of the severe sentencing and supervised release impositions that were imposed against nonviolent offenders. Because if we're running around here giving individuals who have stole millions and millions and millions of dollars, and they get out in 3 months, and you got an individual out here stealing a $20 rock, and they can't get no relief because they don't have the status financially, politically, that most of these individuals who are participating in the particular arena that governs our laws. I mean, to me, that's unfair. It's called inequality. That's what it's called. It's called inequality. And if we don't speak truth to power in relationship to that, then we're doing a disservice to our own people. And what I mean by that, there's people out there who may view this tape and may have family members, neighbors who are serving time in prison, who are looking forward to attempting to get some relief from the fact that, the imposition of supervised release has been severe. The sentence itself may have been severe. So all we want to do is try to get people in tune with the dialogue that's afoot in the communities in the United States as it deals with supervised release and reentry. What can I say? If you've been paying attention to what's been going on throughout the United States right now, we understand that the administration is cutting most of the benefits that is attributed to aid and assisting people that are supposed to be coming back out in so-called free society. But if you're cutting those benefits, then the individuals that are re-entering their communities and society as a whole, they're not receiving any benefit to help them succeed in that process. So I can't blame the administration, because if, as citizens, as if family members, as if loved ones are not speaking to the disparity in that process, then how can we expect this transition from prison to community to be made? I talked a little bit in episode 1 about the labels that we put on individuals. I'm going to go back to George Santos. Now, I don't recall the media ever labeling George Santos as a criminal. I don't recall that. They may have. So if they have, then I need to go back and do a little bit more homework. But I know that each and every individual who is involved in a criminal activity on the federal and state level, if their status is not conducive to being a representative here in the United States, they're labeled as a criminal. That puts them at a degree and undermines their ability to rise up and take hold of being able to improve upon their life and the lives of their families. So, I guess the crux of my comment here is that if you're not involved, and I can understand you not being involved, I can understand that, because there's so many other distractions going on in our society, in our world. So I can understand that. But I've always understood that you have to be mindful, conscious of everything around you. So even though you might be delving into what's going on in the world around you, you still got to be focused on what's going on in your community, what's going on with your family, what's going on with your people, what's going on with the citizens of the United States. And that's an intense conversation. And I understand that a lot of people don't like having that conversation. And regrettably, that undermines the purpose and intent of our criminal justice system, our judicial system. They need to at least take time to interact with that discussion. But if the public, if the people, if the family is not participating in that conversation, then it won't never be resolved. I'll even go this far to say this. I just like saying this very much. This has been an issue in our society for a long, long, long time. A half a century, a century. This has been an issue. It's been an ongoing issue. And there's other factors that come into play. And as time progresses, throughout our discussions, we'll touch on some of those issues. But right now, the focal point, the elections, midterm elections are getting ready to come up. And it's imperative that as voters, as taxpayers, as citizens of these United States, you need to get involved in this discussion. We have so many people out there doing this, doing that, organizations doing this, doing that, and they're not serving the needs of people as a whole. And that's the purpose of addressing this particular issue, is to try to bring some light to a situation that needs to be addressed. We have a lot of men and women who are currently incarcerated, getting ready to re-enter society, and they're dependent upon those organizations, grassroots organizations, churches, employment, and things of this nature. But they're held to a different accord than people who haven't been in that situation before. And so if you got a reentry program or a rehabilitation program, if you have a program that provides you with grants to build up the dialogue that you're putting forth as it relates to helping these individuals be successful upon their release, then you need to be focused on that particular point. And all I'm saying is, I don't see it. And so I'm going to speak to it. And if you got an issue with it, that's your issue, because you're supposed to be doing what you're supposed to be doing. That's just like in close. That's just like a person who said that they wanted money, a grant, to eliminate the violence in my home state. Yet, the violence in my home state has escalated ever since they got that grant. So, you can take that for what it is. I'm going to give an individual a grant to eliminate the violence, but the violence done went up. So my question would be, what have you done to eliminate the violence? What have you done? How come we got all these kids around here getting shot? How come we got all these murders? What have you done that's noticeable to be awarded such a grant, and you ain't did nothing? Come on, man. With that being said, man, I appreciate it. I'm keeping it real. It may not be the most articulate, but I'm speaking from the heart and the mind, and all praises due.